Hi, welcome back to another YouTube exclusive video. I'm Laura from Front Office Rocks, and I'm filming this video from my house, which I typically do, but I'm filming it during the quarantine. The coronavirus is here, and it's April 2020, and so I'm filming from home, and I'm specifically talking about something that's been brought up a lot on social media around if we should send statements and talk to our patients about balances and collections. I'm going to talk about that a little bit around what's going on now, but I'm also just going to talk about statements in general. So if you're watching this later, everything's back to normal. I hope one day we're at that spot. I'm just going to talk about the idea of statements. So specifically right now with patients that have balances, I do believe that we should send statements to patients. So let me talk about kind of quarantine and not quarantine. Even if you've worked out a payment arrangement for a patient, even if we're in financial times like now where patients may not have the money to pay, no matter what, the patient should still know that they have balances. So I believe that patients should receive statements, even if you've worked out a payment option for them, even if you're giving them a couple months to pay something, even if we're in quarantine and people are laid off or furloughed right now, they should still get a statement and they should still know that they have a balance, because that payment or that balance needs to be paid at some point. So I do believe statements should be going out. Now, specifically for right now with trying to understand that there's odd scenarios going on where people may not have the money to pay. My suggestion is this: if you have a patient that has a balance, when you send the statements, if it's a large balance or an unexpected balance, I would handwrite a note on that statement that says, if you need to discuss this balance with us, please give us a call. For a couple of reasons. First of all, a handwritten note goes a long way. It shows that you care. It's not a letter. It's not a form letter. It's not, this is what we sent to everybody with a statement. This is handwritten by me. We have the time to do it. Secondly, it doesn't say if you want to pay this later or if you want to pay over the next 6 months. We don't want to give that option to everybody because there are patients of yours that can pay now. So if you want to discuss this balance, please give us a call, okay? And it shows that you guys have heart. Like, we're here to talk to you about your balance. So it's a good way to do things. Now, that is how I believe you should do it right now. They should get their statements. You should have a note on there. You should be available to talk to them about it and make a plan with them, whatever that case may be. But even going forward after this quarantine that we have right now, when life gets back to normal, I'm all about trying to make sure that we connect with our patients on a level of understanding that unexpected balances and big balances are hard sometimes for our patients. And so if you've got a patient that's going to be a type A personality who's going to get upset about the balance no matter what it is, or it's a large balance or it's an unexpected balance, my suggestion is first, you always call the patient to let them know that there's a statement coming. And then secondly, to write a note on there so that they understand that you have heart, that you know that this is unexpected, or maybe the insurance didn't cover something, or it's larger than we expected, or whatever the case may be. Understand, if you were in their shoes and you thought you paid something and now you're getting a balance or a statement from the dental office, that it could potentially be upsetting. So I would suggest that you always kind of take it from the patient's perspective and say, what would I appreciate from my dental office, whether we're in, coronavirus 2020 or whether it's just in the future and there's an unexpected balance, and put a little heart into it. Even though it is about collecting money, it is something that's sensitive to a lot of people. So that's my thoughts on if you should send statements or balances to patients. I also think a phone call is a really nice thing to do. It gets the patient to talk to you. It gets you to have conversations and agreement with them about what to expect or when they plan to pay the balance. I think a lot of times we just put statements in the mail and expect they're going to pay it, and we don't pick up the phone and call them. And I would rather call a patient and give them a heads up that this is coming versus have them getting it on a Friday afternoon upset because they weren't expecting it, and then going onto social media or Yelp or whatever and complaining about it over the weekend. So those are my thoughts. Definitely put some heart into it. Understand that paying bills, especially for dentistry, is not fun and not easy, and that you want to work with the patient as much as possible. They do owe the balance for sure, but we need to actually make them understand, or have them understand, that we get it's not easy to do. We're here to work with you, especially right now, and reach out to us if you have questions. So again, I'm adding content as things are going on. So right now, like I said, we're in quarantine. I'm available for more questions. I'm seeing stuff come up on social media, so I'm going to start addressing them. And I'm also going to try to adapt them into future, because what we do now is a good lesson, a good way to adapt into future, because the people who go through crisis and turn it into a positive learning experience, we can use that in our future training also. So thank you for joining me. If you have more questions or comments, please write them below, and I will see you on the next video, or check us out over at Front Office Rocks.